All right, good morning. This is Monday, December the 14th, and this is our reading assignments for today. All right, so you're going to go into Schoology. There is the YouTube video, your book pages that you will need to answer your comprehension questions. So let's take a look at the comprehension questions that we're going to work on today. All right, so you're going to be reading pages 18 to 19. What happened over the next week? Read page 20. What happened on the last day that Boris and Amos were together? Read page 21. What happened after Boris left Amos at his home? All right, and if you scroll on, all right, you're going to see a special reading assignment today for some Christmas things. Thought that would be cool. All right, the directions say to read the passage on the left 3 times to practice fluency. That means each time you read it, you should be able to read it quicker. Color a tree each time you read. Then complete the comprehension tasks on the right. So the trees are down there at the bottom to color. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to get red, green, blue. So you'll need those crayons. So you're going to use a red crayon to highlight what a Christmas stocking is. So if you come over here, after you read it about 3 times like you're supposed to, you should find that answer really quick. You're going to take your red and you're just going to underline the answer. All right, so it's a Christmas stocking is an empty sock-shaped bag. All right, and then check that off. You did that. All right, so you're going to get your green and you're going to highlight where the Christmas stocking tradition came from. Grab a blue, highlight something besides socks that children would put outside the door. All right, and then you have a race question to look at down here. All right, so let's take a look at it. All right, what is put into the stockings? All right, now remember with race. All right, let me pull you over here so you see this side of the board. All right, remember, you're going to restate part of the question. You're going to answer the question. You're going to cite the evidence. And then the E, you're going to write the whole sentence where you found the answer. All right, so you have the Christmas stocking. You also have reindeer, and you're going to do the same thing. Read it 3 times so that you can read it quickly every single time. Color your trees, and you'll need a red, green, and a blue. And this time, you're going to draw a conclusion. A carnivore is a meat eater. A herbivore is a plant eater. Use the text. Is a reindeer a carnivore or a herbivore? How do you know? Take your yellow, and I want you to come over here and highlight the answer to that question. You don't have to write it. Highlight it over there. All right, now. All right, so you will end up with 3 pictures to send your teacher. If you can print them off, go ahead and print them off. If not, notebook paper is fine. You're just going to write Amos and Boris, Monday, December 14th. With these, you're going to have to write what you highlighted in red and underline it in red in your notebook. All of those you have to use in the same colors that it asked you to. All right, now we're going to take a look at Amos and Boris. So let me minimize this screen. Let's pull up the book pages. All right, and I believe the first one says we need to look at 18 and 19. So we can use this up here to scroll the pages quickly. All right, let's see. All right. Enlarge it. All right, now, all right. page 19. All right, let's go back. All right, there's 18. All right, so our first question wanted to know, all right, for a review again, what happened over the next week? All right, swimming along, sometimes at great speed, sometimes slowly and leisurely, sometimes resting and exchanging ideas, sometimes stopping to sleep. It took them a week to reach Amos's home shore. During that time, they developed a deep admiration for one another. Boris admired the delicacy, the quivering daintiness, the light touch, the small voice, the gem-like radiance of the mouse. Amos admired the bulk, the grandeur, the power, the purpose, and the rich voice, and the abounding friendliness of the whale. So our question again wanted to know, what happened over the next week? I remember seeing the word week there. It took them a week to get, right there. It took them a week to get Amos home. So what happened during that week? What happened? All right, let's see what it says right here. During that time, which that is the week, they developed a deep admiration for one another. All right, so if you need to pause the video to write that down, go ahead and pause the video. All right, so we're going to move on to the second question. All right, and our second question is, what happened on the last day that Boris and Amos were together? That was on page 20. All right, here's page 20. All right, so they got him home. He's jumping off. All right. The time came to say goodbye. They were at the shore. I wish we could be friends forever, said Boris. We will be friends forever, but we can't be together. You must live on land and I must live at sea. I'll never forget you though. And you can be sure I'll never forget you, said Amos. I will always be grateful to you for saving my life, and I want you to remember that if you ever need any help, I'd be more than glad to give it. How he could ever possibly help Boris? Amos didn't know, but he knew how willing he was. The whale couldn't take Amos all the way into the land. They said their last goodbye, and Amos dived off Boris's back and swam to the sand. All right, so what happened on that last day? What happened on that last day? All right, so they were talking to each other. Of course, Boris couldn't take him all the way in or he would be stranded up on the sand. So he only took him in as far as he could, and Amos had to jump off and swim the rest of the way in. All right, so when they were there saying their goodbyes, all right, Amos said that he would always be grateful. He says, all right, Amos said, I'll never forget you. I will always be grateful to you for saving my life, and I want you to remember that if you ever need my help, I'd be more than glad to give it. Yeah, that's a long one, okay? So write that down. And remember, pause the video to get caught up. All right, let's go ahead and get our last question in for today. And it's on page 21. Yeah, that's 21. Okay. All right. From the top of the cliff, which I'm assuming is way over here, he watched Boris spout twice and disappear. Boris laughed to himself. How could that little mouse ever help me? Little as he is, he's all heart. I love him, and I'll miss him terribly. Boris went to the conference off the Ivory Coast of Africa, and then went back to a life of wailing about, while Amos returned to his life of mousing around, and they were both happy. All right, our last question wants to know, what happened after Boris left Amos at home? All right, remember where he was headed when he found Amos? So he went ahead and went to the conference off the Ivory Coast of Africa, and then went back to a life of wailing about, while Amos returned to his life of mousing around. So basically that means Boris went back to doing what whales do, and Amos went back to doing what a mouse does. All right, so copy that down. Now, you will have 3 pages to send pictures of to your teacher. So make sure you label those with what the assignments are. All right, okay. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll talk about Amos and Boris again, and 2 more Christmas themed papers. All right, see you tomorrow.